Hi Taurus, how are we today? Just doing our weekly reading. This week we are looking at a bit of whatever wants to come on out for us there. We did do some extensive readings last week, so make sure you do check out last week's readings. The weeklies last week, we did look at April in general, and then we did do an extensive all signs for love as well. So check those out if you haven't already. Please subscribe to the channel. I do really appreciate the support, being such a small channel here. But also, we are running a competition at the moment for a free personal reading. So make sure you do leave a comment on one of the videos if you want to go in the draw for that. This week we are I've got the Oracle of Shadows and Light. I also have here the Soul Connection When Two Hearts Meet, Love Oracle, and the Lenormand deck we're using this week. We have the Red Hand Lenormand as well. Okay, so getting into it for you today, Taurus. Okay, Taurus. What is going on for Taurus? What does Taurus need to know right now? What does Taurus need to know right now? Okay, so a bit of a rough energy to start us off here, Taurus. We do start with the Violet Duchess, which she's all about being stifled, bored, and stuck in some sort of energy there. We also have the Fairy of the Divine Hand. All right, so that one's about intoxication, distorted views, and overindulgence. So she kind of is the fairy of, things like addictions and intoxication and those sorts of things. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a physical intoxication. It can sometimes talk about things like obsession or, with that distorted view, the distorted perceptions of things, things not really making sense to you because you're looking at things through a distorted sort of lens here, especially with that stifled, stuck kind of energy as well. It's kind of like you're stuck thinking about things from a negative perspective, rather than, forcing the positive aspects and potential positive outcomes to be seen as well. So it's very interesting energy in that sense, that it does sort of show us that there is something going on here where you're kind of stuck in the negativity of something, rather than allowing yourself to be optimistic and flow through into the positive energies there. So we'll delve into that a little bit and see what that's all about for you, Taurus. Okay, Taurus, what is going on here for Taurus? What does Taurus need to know right now? And just some clarifiers for Taurus. Clarify the first card for Taurus, please. And clarify that fourth card for Taurus. I also want to see how this connects to the stuck energy, the distorted energy over here. How does that connect to? Yeah, so the hidden energy I'm seeing on the bottom of the deck, we have the goat, which is you rebelling against this tree energy, which is, self-care, self-love, self-growth. So you're kind of rebelling against looking after yourself and doing the best things for yourself and your highest good here. We do also see the letter, which is all about communication, and then the stuck energy in this deck as well, the anchor there. So you're sort of rebelling against looking after yourself, and you're you communicate, the way that you're communicating with yourself is partly what is keeping you stuck, and the way that, like, because what I'm seeing, your main reading here is connecting to those oracle cards via this tower, which really does talk about you sort of being, a little bit hermit mode, off in your own head, stuck inside your own, fortress of your own mind here. So a lot of this is definitely coming from the way that you're thinking about things here, Taurus. The perceptions you're allowing to believe, coming from your own fear and self-doubt and things like that. So there's something here about you intentionally avoiding confronting yourself about some of the deeper stuff. You do seem to be, trying to push it away from yourself and build a fortress around things, because I'm just sort of intuitively feeling that it's bringing up some emotions within you and you're trying to push them down, but by pushing them down, you're also that's kind of what's keeping you stuck in this distorted view of what's going on here. All right, and so I am pretty confident in saying that for quite a lot of you, this has got to do with some sort of social interactions or friendship groups, platonic type connections, co-workers, that kind of energy. The first card we have here is the fungi card, which usually is all about communicating with others and getting along with others, working as a team. You can kind of see here all these mushrooms, they are actually connected under the surface here, but you're kind of trying to be your own little mushroom, off on your own little aspect here in a certain sense, and try to it's kind of like you're trying to care for all these other mushrooms, but you're forgetting to care for yourself. You're so connected to everything else going on around you and supporting all these, all these energies around you, that you're forgetting to support yourself, and you're forgetting that, you can rely on their support for once, rather than you being the one to provide all that support and nutrients. There is this aspect with the fungi card as well, that, where do mushrooms grow? They grow in the dark places, the darker recesses of ourselves, and it does sort of, they do grow from the rot and the decay. So it does really sort of show us here that you've kind of been supporting and growing things in your life, that you're kind of deceiving yourself in that sense, that you're kind of deceiving yourself that you're growing this wonderful grouping here, but you're not seeing that it's coming from darkness, it's coming from decay. So there's just something fundamentally kind of wrong, especially too with that tower, that does talk about the foundations that have been laid here as well. So there's just something sort of fundamentally wrong with the way that these relationships have been formed in the first place. And you sort of trying to, grow something beautiful out of something dark here. It's kind of that energy of, I'm kind of hearing here that energy of, if you start a relationship with somebody, and they are cheating on somebody to be with you, it's kind of that once a cheater, always a cheater kind of mentality, that if you're starting a connection with somebody and they're cheating on somebody to be with you, and then, months down the track, you're wondering why they're cheating on you. And it's because, that's been a predetermined, that's part of the foundation of this relationship, is cheating is acceptable, because that's how your relationship with them started. So I'm not feeling as though this is that sort of scenario, with love or that sort of thing, but it's that kind of energy. It's more so from feeling like it's from friendship groups, especially with the mushrooms there. I am getting that for a lot of you, this has got to do with multiple relationships, the groupings of multiples, rather than just, solo connections here, because I do have that fungi clarified by the rider as well as the garden, and the garden is a social card. Okay, so it does talk about groups of friends and those sorts of things as well. It can definitely be, workplaces, that kind of stuff as well. It does sometimes talk about that, the meetings, or, we do see a grouping here, a meeting of a group of people is what I'm kind of feeling this is sort of specifically related to. That there's something just in the foundation of that grouping that is not positive, that you're deceiving yourself to allow yourself to believe that it can be positive, even though you know full well that the foundation of that has come from something that wasn't necessarily positive. So it's kind of like, I'm getting like the Mean Girls references, that, if you're aligning yourself with a group of girls that are the mean girls, and then you're wondering why, they turn on you and be mean to you, that kind of energy, and you're deceiving yourself. Oh, but they're really lovely on the inside. And if you get them one-on-one, they're lovely. And that may very well be the case. But as a group, there's something fundamentally, concerning here, especially with that rider. It does sort of show us that there is some sort of news on the way in regard to this social thing. So there may be a specific event that this is taking place for some of you here. This may be connected to a specific event, or a specific thing that has happened within this group, because it's kind of that meeting. It's like I'm getting like group texting kind of energy as well, like that sort of thing. And it is something that it's very interesting here, because this reading is kind of coming through as a bit of a warning here, Taurus, a bit of a warning of something that you need to avoid. So I do feel that for a lot of you, that this event may not have actually happened. It may not have even come to light yet, that this has been, formed and built upon, the grounds of something which is already in decay when it started forming here. But we do have the lily coming out here, which is all about emotional intimacy. So I do feel that for a lot of you, this is, it's kind of like when you're most vulnerable, that's when they attack kind of energy, and they may know too much about your deepest, darkest secrets here, and that's what is going to be that's what you're being warned about here, to not be so to be a little bit more protective of your vulnerabilities around this grouping of people. We do see here that the lily does also talk about long term, and it does show us that the long term potential of these connections. We do see the scythe coming through next. So this is not something that's going to be in your life long term. This is something that we need to make a sudden change. We need to break away from that energy, suddenly or unexpectedly. Some of you, this is something unexpectedly happening, like I said, potentially at some sort of event, or like I'm getting like fake invitations. You're invited somewhere and it's kind of like an intervention. They're ganging up on you kind of energy. And so you need to make a sudden sort of break free from this energy, because otherwise this is going to be something that you're dealing with, in the longer term here. And then if I'm kind of seeing that, if you don't, it's really, if you don't break free from this energy, I'm seeing the next card as kind of, it can go both ways here. So we do have the ruins coming out next here. So the ruins is, it's a dual sort of natured card. It does sort of show us that if you don't make that change, if you don't make that break free from this energy becoming part of your long term and becoming part of you yourself, the more that you're spending time in that energy, the longer that you allow yourself to deceive yourself that, oh, this is fine, everything's fine, You know, they've got my best interests at heart. That's what I'm feeling. You're needing to break free from that deception that these people have your best interests at heart, because it feels as though they don't. And that's going to lead you to ruin if you don't break free from that. But the interesting thing about the Scythe and then the Ruins card is, you know, the ruins actually has the potential to be other energies as well. Okay, because when we see like the post-apocalyptic movies and we see the ruins and things like that, we always see, you know, the brand new vines growing in the ruins of something else. So it's kind of, you know, that energy as well, that potential energy there as well, that, you know, if you are able to break free of this energy and see this from a non-self-deceptive point, then you will actually be able to start focusing on, you know, reclaiming the ruins of these relationships, reclaiming the ruins of, you know, especially too for some of you, these ruins are, you know, the emotional thing that the vulnerability that you've shown to these people in the past, and it's kind of like they're trying to ruin you in a sense here, and they're trying to bring you to ruin kind of energy. But you know, if you can avoid that and stop deceiving yourself that, oh, they've got my best intentions at heart, you're going to be able to focus on, you know, being like an archaeologist and bringing those ruins back to life, and not allowing those, you know, to stay in ruin. And you know, there definitely may still be some stuff that, you know, comes from this in a negative light here. I'm just sort of warning you, Taurus, that, you know, there does seem to be, you are a little bit stuck in this energy, that you are sort of stifled and surrounded by this energy at the moment here. You do have the potential to break free from that, though, with that Scythe energy. You definitely can break free from that. I'm just intuitively feeling as though the main way for you to do that is for you to actually, you know, stop hiding from yourself, stop rebelling against looking after yourself first and foremost. Okay, so you need to put yourself first instead of putting, you know, people around you first. We're really needing to see you putting yourself first here, because this rebellious energy, it can also talk about, you know, like obsession and that just like deceptive sort of behavior where you're deceiving yourself that you don't need to look after yourself, that it's fine, they've got my back. That they don't have your back here, Taurus. You need to communicate that with yourself, that, you know, if I don't want to be stuck in this energy, and if I don't want to, you know, bring myself into this potential ruin, I do need to do something about this. I do need to make that break or change on my own terms, where I'm looking out for my highest good here, and I'm refusing to, you know, it's kind of like, you know, because I'm someone that always thinks the best of people, but I'm kind of seeing here, Taurus, that you need to stop thinking the best of people, and stop thinking that just because you've got the best intentions for the people around you, it doesn't mean that they do. Just because you've got people's back doesn't mean they've got your back. All right. We had that ruins card clarified by the rose and then the dog energy there as well. So it does show us that there's some thorns, you know, that the rose with the thorns here. You know, but once again, that's that dual potential coming through with that as well. So it's kind of that energy of, you know, if you break free from this, we can, you know, focus on the rose itself rather than the thorns. But, you know, being careful that, you know, something that looks like a beautiful, like a rose on the surface, it's going to have thorns. Okay. It has thorns. There's, you know, thorns right there ready to, you know, snag you. You know, especially, and those thorns do seem to be, you know, this potential loyalty's ruined, and, you know, the understanding and compassion and that sort of stuff, the companionship ruined, you know, by this event or whatever this is sort of taking place. Once again, I do feel that for a lot of you, this has got something to do with an event. So some sort of social event where it's like a group of people. All right, and you know, with that rider there and the news on the way, there may be that is a really fast sort of moving energy. So it could just be, you know, and you do see the rider with his back turned as well. So it could just be this energy of, you know, someone with their back turned to you. News, you know, I keep getting that this is like somebody sharing your personal information, that they're giving news of your life to others, and the news of your life that they're giving to others are, you know, things that you hold close to your heart, and maybe you don't want shared with others, and it's kind of you know, it kind of gives me a little bit of a Mean Girls gossipy kind of energy coming through there. I will just grab some quick advice for you here, Taurus. Advice for Taurus with this energy, please. Advice for Taurus with this energy. Yeah, transform yourself from the black hole, from the darkness. You here, you can seek the light. Okay, what does a moth do? They seek the light. You know, the black hole is trying to swallow you whole here, Taurus. You know, you need to avoid the darkness and seek the light here. Transform yourself to the light. Which, you know, the light, the positive energy, the optimistic energy, but being very aware of the darkness that surrounds you and the darkness that surrounds this whole situation. Like I said, you're avoiding facing the fact that this has grown from the darkness to start with, that these people operate from the darkness, and you need to, you know, seek the light and really, you know, that's going to help remove this stuck energy from around you. And it's going to, you know, as soon as you start seeking the light and looking for, you know, the positive energy, the optimistic energy, you are really going to help yourself, you know, change that distorted view that you currently are under here. But we'll have a look with the love, at love for you as well. Okay. Taurus, what does Taurus need to know right now when it comes to love, please? And I know this sounds, you know, it sounds very negative and like a bad kind of reading here, a warning reading. But, you know, when we do these sorts of readings, I just want to let you know here, Taurus, when we do these sorts of readings, the energy comes through with what's most important right now. All right. And with that Violet Duchess energy, it does sort of show us that, you know, there might not be much going on outside of this. This may be the only thing that's, you know, important happening this sort of week or whatever. So, you know, it may not be a huge big drama. It may just be, you know, a little thing that you're just being warned about. You know, it may just be that little gossip behind your back, something along those lines. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be this huge big dramatic thing. The energy is just going to, you know, show you what's most important for you to know, and this is what's most important for you to be aware of at the moment here. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's something, you know, huge and dramatic and life changing. You know, the energy, if there's nothing huge and dramatic and life changing, it's going to start showing, you know, the smaller details of what's going on for you. All right, but this is an opportunity for learning as well. We have the learn card there. Let love show you how to learn from each other. So yeah, you know, seeking the light, looking for the aspects of love, you know, learning more about the love. We have the universe coming through here. The universe is guiding you to your special person. Allow things to take their natural course. So, you know, this is all a learning process. We also have cherishing your relationship. So I do feel as though that cherish card, it feels as though there's somebody else that can help support you through this, with this loving energy coming through there, that there may be somebody in your love life who's actually able to help support you through this energy, because, you know, this energy does feel as though, like I said, I do have two social grouping cards and the friendship cards. So I do feel that for a lot of you, this is more related to, you know, some sort of social connections, co-workers, friend groups, those sorts of things, whatever's going on with that. Okay, so that's what we've got for you, Taurus. You're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course, but, you know, leave a comment if you want to go in the draw for that free personal reading, and I will see you all again soon.